What up, people? Today we are going to be talking about the smallest fish in the room. So what do I mean by this? Basically, what I am trying to say is that when you are looking to self-improve and be better as a person, it's always a good idea to have people that are always pushing forward, always want more for themselves, right? In a good way, a self-development type of way, in a self-improvement type of way, not a greed and gluttony type of way, okay? There's a difference. So we're talking about the self-development and self-improvement side, right? It's always good to be around those types of people, but being the smallest fish in the room has an even bigger advantage on top of that. What do I mean? Basically, everyone else around you is much further ahead of you in terms of development, self-improvement, knowledge, all kinds of different areas and facets of life. It's better if they're all ahead of you, because then you have a greater distance to cover and more to learn. Just think, if there was no difference between you, you would all know pretty much the same-ish, okay? And if you knew the most in the room, then that would make you the smartest or the biggest fish in the room. However, in terms of learning and growth, you're limited. You don't have that much to learn because, like I say, you're the biggest fish in the room. This does vary to a degree because obviously I believe that there's lots that you can learn from other people. There's an unlimited amount. So take this with a pinch of salt, but I'm talking about in terms of the areas that are important to you and that you want to grow a lot in. It's important to be the smallest fish in the room. So let's say, for example, you were looking to play basketball, right? If you are the, let's say, weakest player in the team, in a ways that's a good thing because you've got a lot to learn from your other teammates. Whereas if you're the best, it's like you've then got to look for the next best team, the one up from you or the one levels up from you, in order to keep on improving and to be challenged, okay? Because you're not being challenged as much by your other teammates and team members because they're nowhere near as good as you. That goes across the board for all kinds of things. It goes for business, it goes for finance, sales, marketing, all kinds of things. Whatever topic it is that you want to improve in, it's always best to be the smallest fish in the room. Now, recently, I was actually in that position. And I noticed it when we were all sat around the table and everyone was giving sort of presentations. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are freaking levels above man's. It was ridiculous. Like, you know, man's even was feeling a certain type of way, and I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I kind of felt a little bit out of place, but kind of not, because I knew what I was there for. And I know that self-improvement is very important to me, and that's what I want to do. So I purposely put myself in that position, knowing there are going to be people levels above me. I didn't know how many levels, but I knew I wanted to be the smallest fish in the room. And I was. And I think by far, I don't even know how far, because that's what I'm saying, like, yo, there were special abilities like veil and mask abilities, so you can't exactly see like each of these dragons' health points and XP and stats and stuff like that. There was veil, so you need to be a certain level to see these people's like experience points and health points and all that kind of stuff, because it was a madness. But trust me, I felt the aura. I was like, oh crap, yeah, these guys are leveled up, you know what I mean? And they're still going, bro. They are still moving, sis. They are still moving, fam. So this is what I'm saying. These types of people are the people that you need to be around, because it forces you, unless you're very lazy, to take a look at where you're at, where you could be, and the difference between the two. When you see that, when you feel that, it's mostly feel, to be honest. It's very tough to see, but you feel it. You're like, frick, this person is next level. This person is actually next level. I can barely comprehend, like, do you know what I'm saying? But people like that actually make you aware that, one, that's possible, two, it's possible for you, and three, how little you know. And that's a very important lesson. These people make you realize you don't know ish. Now, I already knew that before this meeting, but going into the meeting, I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it just makes you realize you don't know ish. it also makes you realize that you do. Because conversation I'm having with these people, right? Amazing people, by the way. They're so freaking awesome, so cool, so inspirational, and down to earth, I might add, as well. Because there's a lot of misconceptions. Oh, these people are like this, and rich people are like that, and that's cap. There's rich people that are arseholes, and there are rich people that are some of the nicest people in the world. That goes true for middle class and poor people. It rings across the board. Doesn't matter where you are on the levels. Okay? There's not very nice people up and down that scale. And there are very, very, very nice and very generous people up and down that scale. But one thing it actually made me realize, speaking to different people as the smallest fish in the room, is that with some things, I do actually know what I'm talking about. So in certain areas, there's no need for me to have self-doubt, because I do actually know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from one experience, so that's proven already. I don't necessarily need someone more experienced to tell me that, because I've experienced it. But even some of the stuff that you could class as theory, they're saying the same thing. So it means, it reaffirms, hey, you're on the right track, or you do actually know what you're talking about, or you are more knowledgeable than you think. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a very good position to put yourself in, because you can bounce off, you can relate and understand your positioning as well as a result of that. So it's very, very, very important, guys, to be the smallest fish in the room, so that you can push yourself and that you're always learning to a high degree, a high standard, a high level, fast too. Very, very important. So I wanted to say that just to let you know, hey, that's what I've been doing lately. I'm gonna try and keep this up, but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is seemingly difficult, because sometimes you can have that barrier of access. Sometimes people at certain levels don't always want people at other levels around them. So, you know, I'm not going to pretend that there aren't those barriers in the way sometimes, but there are opportunities and occasions where they're not. So take full advantage of those opportunities and occasions, and they're becoming more and more so, to be honest with you. There's all kinds. So really go out there, come out of your comfort zone and seek these people, because a lot of them are really, really nice. They want to help. They understand what it's like. They've been where you are, and they appreciate someone that's motivated. They're using their intuition and their initiative, making moves and taking action. They appreciate that. Why? Because they can see themselves in you. It's what they've had to do to get where they are. They didn't just get there by sitting on their buttocks. Most of them have not got there by sitting on their buttocks. Okay? So they acknowledge those qualities and they respect those qualities. So adorn those qualities and get to work. But make sure, if you can control that environment and that situation, do your best to make sure that you are the smallest fish in the room. Okay, guys? Cool! Throw down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking. And I appreciate any questions that you might have, any experiences that you might have had. Throw them all in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are about this video. Thank you so much for watching and attending today. Appreciate and love all of you guys and girls. And by the way, I will see you for the next video. Take it easy, guys. Have an amazing day.